wanna go write a million songs if that's the way to be. I'll write a classic to beat them all and go down in history. I'll be the one to reach the stars, but only if you're with me tonight, 'cause that'll be the light. I'm gonna go write a million songs if that's the way to be. I'll write a classic to beat them all and go down in history. I'll be the one to reach the stars, but only if you're with me tonight, 'cause that'll be the light. 'Cause that'll be the light. 'Cause that'll be the light.
Hello again and welcome to episode 30 of Main Street Martin, the second part of our Enchanted Princess Mediterranean cruise for June 2023. In the first episode, after flying into Rome, we started in Civitavecchia, took our first look at the ship before moving on to Naples and a pre-booked excursion to the ancient Roman town of Heraklion. A quick reminder that you can still check out that and all of the other previous episodes, including our 2022 cruise on the Regal Princess, right here on the channel. If you enjoy any of the videos, please make sure you click on the like button, ring the notification bell to be informed of any future videos, and make sure you subscribe. In this episode, following a day at sea, we moved from Italy to Greece and the island of Crete before sailing on to the Turkish port of Kusadasi for another fabulous excursion to the ancient city of Ephesus. We've had a number of holidays in Crete over the years and had explored a lot of the island, but as we'd only ever flown into Heraklion and travelled from the airport straight to our resorts, we decided against an excursion here in favour of exploring the capital of the island. In fact, Heraklion is the fourth largest city in Greece. If you haven't been to Crete before, there's lots to see on an island which dates back to the prehistoric Minoans. One of the most popular attractions is the Bronze Age Palace of Knossos, also known as the Palace of Minos, which is located about 3 miles southeast of the city. It's the largest Bronze Age archaeological site on Crete and has been called Europe's oldest city. Settled in as early as the Neolithic period, the name Knossos survives from ancient Greek references to the major city of Crete. The Palace of Knossos eventually became the ceremonial and political centre of the Minoan civilization and culture. The palace was abandoned at some unknown time at the end of the late Bronze Age. In and around Heraklion there are lots of things to see and do, from olive oil and wine tasting to sailing excursions or treks. You can take a cookery lesson or even make traditional Cretan soap. Princess offer a series of excursions featuring monasteries, museums and folklore experiences, as well as others like Spinalonga Island Adventure and the Aluna Resort. We decided to explore Heraklion on foot, from this Venetian fortress in the harbour to Eleftheriou Square and the beautiful Fontana Morosini fountain. Built in 1628, it's considered to be one of the city's most important monuments. Across from the fountain is the 13th century Basilica of San Marco. And if you want to go shopping, continue on to Market Street, a great place to buy anything from cheese to socks. And if it's historical treasures you're looking for, then stroll through the Heraklion Archaeological Museum. The Agios Titus Church is an Orthodox church dedicated to the Apostle Titus, considered the first bishop of Crete. It's located in Heraklion's old town on the edge of Agios Titos Square. The church was built during the Second Byzantine period on Crete, when the centre of the island was moved from Gortyn to Heraklion. During Venetian rule, the church served as the cathedral of the Catholic Archdiocese of Crete. During the Ottoman rule, the church was converted into a mosque. It was destroyed in the 1856 earthquake, and after this a new mosque was built that is the present church. The building was converted into a church in 1925. We also had time to sit and relax in a taverna with the owner, Mr. Kusadasi. We share a mutual friend, an NCAA basketball coach in the United States. He was really friendly and hospitable, enjoying some food, beer and a glass of raki with us before we headed back to our ship. So if you're looking for a snack, a meal or a drink while exploring Heraklion, I would certainly recommend Kusadasi's. After an evening on the ship with fabulous food, entertainment from the excellent Larry King Trio in the Take 5 bar, a beautiful sunset and a good night's sleep, we sailed into Kusadasi in Turkey. The port was picturesque and we were looking forward to exploring that later in the day. But first we were off on another excursion. This time it was to the historic site of Ephesus. We chose an excursion with some additional places to visit, and we set off north from Kusadasi past the Byzantine fortress, the ruins of the Temple Artemis and the Basilica of St. John, en route to the Sacred Virgin Mary Shrine. The views of the valley are incredible as the coach climbs the Solmissos Mountains to the House of the Virgin Mary, considered by the Vatican to be a holy place. The small shrine, surrounded by greenery, was found in the ruins when the house was discovered. Next was the magnificent Ephesus, the Roman provincial capital. Our excellent guide led us on a downhill walk through the ruins of the city, highlighting archaeological finds along the way. We saw the beautifully preserved Temple of Hadrian, the magnificent Trajan Fountain, the Odeon Theatre, the majestic Celsus Library and the Great Theatre. Ephesus was a colony of Ionian Greeks and one of the most important Greek cities of antiquity. The region of Ephesus has been inhabited by Greeks since 900 BC at the latest. The city began to gain wider fame in the 500s BC when a large temple of Artemis was built there. Later, Ephesus belonged at various times to the kingdoms of Persia, Alexander the Great and Pergamon, amongst others, until 133 BC when it was annexed to the Roman Empire.
90% with the Roman architecture. Romans became a ruler after the Hellenes. They renewed their city with the Roman architecture. Port was active mostly in 2nd AD. 2nd century was the highlights, and 250,000 people lived in that time. With this number of population, the third biggest city in Roman Empire after Rome, after Alexandria. But you know, ocean covered by the river alluvials like Mississippi, like River Nile. Same also here with the active river next door. When the ocean covered, trade ships couldn't reach the port. That's the reason why city died.
Now in the Roman Empire, Ephesus served as the capital of Asia. The province of Asia Minor and several notable buildings were built there. The city had one of the largest populations in the Roman Empire. It was also an important early Christian centre and later a pilgrimage site. In the early Byzantine period, settlement moved close to present-day Selçuk as the city's port gradually silted up. Today, the ruins of Ephesus are located several kilometres from the coast. Archaeological excavations beginning in the 1800s have restored a small part of the city. A particularly impressive attraction is the facade of the Celsus Library, which was rebuilt in the 1970s from its original building stones. Instead, only piles of stones and one column remain of the great Temple of Artemis. The archaeological site here has been a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 2015.
Today, they are in the indoor museum.
She was sitting right there.
In the wall, sleeping. Nice pose. If you're interested, take a picture. Museum information you will see when you walk way down on the left, where the arches are in the first level. Above them, there was a big temple for the Roman Emperor Victoria. In English, speaking about the amphoras, from the remainder of them, they found the remains of the fish sauce. Probably like a supermarket where the people were selling fish. What about the Turkish name? Rakı. Rakı is grape and anise licorice, most popular alcoholic drink in Turkey.
Thank you. Excuse me, ma'am. Yes, thank you.
Да.
А вот именно то, что без пропусков, достаточно.
Нет, ну если ты приблизительно знаешь, как читаешь, today, 1700 years old. How in Ohio, in Lima, where they get it, how much money did it cost? 11 million US dollars just for the tents. So excavation cost $1, preserving cost $5.
Bir öyle çekiyor, bir ayağım böyle yukarı kalıyor. Bilmiyorum.
Now you see another impressive building on the right. Trajan's time, his father, you know, and Hedwig was his adopted son. That's why he traveled a lot. One was in Alexandria.
I know how we got home.
The second biggest library, do you remember? In Turkey, in city of Pergamon, 3 hours. You see all the way down. This is end of the silk, end of the spice roads in Asia continent. So in the Bible, Acts 19 writes about the provocation of the deities. Paul after how big this is.
Our legislations concerning the removal artifacts were delivered
If the interactive show anyhow starts, you can also work it in platform. You're not obligated to do it.
War das künstlich angelegte Hafen. Ein Beck und ein Kanal rein. Das war gar nicht gleich Kanal.
11:20 will be our meeting time as a group. Bus is 2 minutes walking distance.
Back at the port, we had time to browse the colourful bazaars and view a Turkish carpet weaving demonstration.
Good morning, everybody. How are you today?
But there are lots of other things to do here if you have the time, from exploring the castle to water parks, beaches and quad safaris.
As vertical threads from the loom, single knot is like this. Thread passes between those, wraps around first and comes behind seconds. As you see, only one is tight, the second one is free. But if I talk about Turkish knot, double knot, we tie 2 of them and comes underneath, like this, okay? It's taken about 25-30% longer time to make, but it's becoming at least 2-3 times more durable than the single knotted ones. And this is the guide of the weaver, design paper. You see lots of tiny squares on this, and each tiny square is 1 knot. Let's say 5 squares are yellow, she followed the symmetry and she makes knots 5 times yellow. Let's say after the 2 squares are brown, same process. She counts the knots and the lines row by row, side by side, to remember where she is at the design. According to the color of the stitch, she chooses a thread between these ones, and according to the place of the stitch, she put in knot, as you can see. After she ties, she cuts. After that, she bits them to make them tighter. And all the time, they used to adhere feelings to the rugs with small symbols. Actually, each traditional design has got a story, meaning behind those. The one you see right here is coming from central part of Turkey. This is roughly 8 by 11 in feet size. 232 knots used for every square inch as quality, and approximately 13 up to 14 months of labor by one young lady. Here is the result. I'm sure that you will appreciate the labor. More than a year. Did you see? Colors? Amazing, right? Would you please everybody focus on the rug? We're going to rotate it on the floor and see what is happening. Can you see the color change? The tricks are working. 145 knots every square inch, and approximately 4.5 years of labor by 2 young ladies. I'm sure that you will appreciate the labor. This is a masterpiece from the most talented family in Turkey. Look at that. So would you please everybody concentrate on the rug? Let us rotate. See the second side and observe the quite dramatic color change with silk. Silk rugs are not coming only in this size or in this pattern.
And that's about it for another episode, I'm afraid. Don't forget to check out the other videos on this channel featuring the rest of this Mediterranean cruise, theme parks including the original Xcaret Park in Mexico, all of the parks in Orlando, parks that no longer exist like Cypress Gardens and Opryland USA, plus European parks. There are also city and short breaks, along with top tips, hints and ideas. If you enjoy any of the videos here, make sure you click on the like button, ring the notification bell to be informed of any future videos, and if you can, please subscribe to help the channel. We have more to come in the next part of our 14-day Mediterranean cruise on the Enchanted Princess, when we continue in Turkey with a day in Istanbul before returning to Greece and the island of Mykonos. So make sure you join me for episode 31 of Main Street Martin.
I'm gonna go write a million songs if that's the way to be. I'll in a class to beat them all and go down in history. I'll be the one to reach the stars, but only if you're with me tonight.